So, G-Man, how much money did you have on you?
One moment.
I
had
am master. I fix him. I make him better than before. Yes, you look for improvements. This can go right away.
8 notes, 72 quavars.
Well, you know, the idea of implanting more weapons in him sounds really great, but I don't feel like spending his experience points. He's not actually dead. If he was actually dead, we could argue spending his experience points for him.
Don't have
Oh,
him.
yes. I make all modifications. He'd be much better than when he'd be much more friendly, much more helpful. Yes.
There's the retraining rule, so we could argue that we could force to retrain him to then make him lose a bunch of experience points to spend the way we want. But I'm not
just give him back a combat save.
No, not a combat. I would be more likely to buy like armor.
Yeah.
I rather mean that I'm so min-maxed at this respect that you would be hard-pressed to have anything left to sell back.
We would have to break his character hard, and I don't feel like
yeah.
I'm too nice. And
you have actually found, by the way, this is a master. So
okay, good. Well, the problem with the master is how much he's going to charge for this. How much money did G-Man have on his corpse?
I heard 8 notes.
Yeah, I just said it.
38 notes. Okay.
No. Why would I have 38 notes?
Oh.
I said 8 notes, 72 quavars.
You have 8 notes? This guy costs $60 a day.
Well, don't hire him for a full day.
That's the problem.
It only takes an hour.
Well, it only takes an hour if he can make the roll. Let's pay him the 8 notes for 1 hour, and he'll make a 5d12 roll. And if he can't roll 3 successes or more, we need to get another 8 notes.
And I can haggle him down a little bit with, being a mercenary.
Can you haggle on extravagant things?
Yes, they go down to 90% their usual cost.
Okay, so 7.2. So we'll pay him 7.2 notes. I'm keeping track here. And for the first hour, he'll roll 5.
If he works for 60 notes a day, that's 2.5 notes an hour. Just hire him for a couple of hours.
But that's 24 hours of work.
Yeah,
he's not working for 24 hours.
You only work 8 hours a day.
Hey, I'm just working off of his advertised rates. What he does with that is beyond him. Beyond me.
It does say per day. This is an hour pair. We assume an 8-hour work day. Sorry. Not 20. I love G-Man. Well, my robot works 24 hours a day.
They don't need to stop. Yeah. At least I don't let them.
He's got a minimum. He works for. I had to show up here, so .
Yeah, this is assuming an 8-hour day, which he's a master. He might work less than that. All right, so we pay him the money and then wait around an hour, I guess.
I'm gonna say though, with 2 successes, he's going to require 3 successes to haggle him down. He's so in demand that.
Well, it takes more work. There's lots of flame damage.
Would you be able to let me claim an assist?
Will he let Arcloyd assist him?
No, I mean claim an assist to my negotiation role.
Yeah, is Ezreal assisting the negotiations?
Okay. We don't have to negotiate. We already found it.
No, he's saying to haggle him down.
Yeah, we negotiated to haggle him down.
Okay, I'm going to say this exactly once. The rules say that if you have haggling, you get a 10% discount.
Oh, it just automatically applies. Yes, so he doesn't even have to roll.
Right. Because otherwise, as a player character, you will go through and roll for every single one of the 50 items that you have, and then you'll start doing. No, we just said screw it. You get a 10% discount just for being a haggler.
That's much easier. Much easier.
All right. So it takes another hour. I have 7.2 notes. I will throw that in for another hour.
All right, so I haven't rolled for the first hour yet.
Oh, you haven't rolled for the first hour? If you roll for the first hour and it works, then we're done.
So I need 3 successes, and I'm rolling 5d12. That's correct. That's a master.
Master rolls 5d12. He needs 3 successes and a single roll to fix this.
There's 4 successes.
Then he fixes it in a single hour.
Well, it's 3 successes.
Perfect.
Oh, 3. Sorry, the three. That's 3 successes. So he fiddles, and your friend is good as new. Even better. If I can't say so myself, he looks much prettier, much more attractive. I've made some modifications. I tuned some things.
Oh, cool. Do they put like little like of those like sequins all over him, like, and the weird like patterns that they've been carving in their shells? Is he covered?
No.
Got one of those car air fresheners hanging off of me now.
Watch
He has
this.
a neon kit.
Watch this. You're on this planet. You say, "Oh, I'm human. I'm so weak. I suck. This planet hot." Now, he clicks a button. Whoosh. Now you can have your water with you. Cup holder.
He's a water
Yeah.
cooler.
Yep, I piss into a cup now. Improvement.
Gonna call that Plan B.
I mean, thematically though, I'm probably laying there, and a minute goes by, I don't do anything, and then the leitmotif body emerges from out.
Oh, I did not have that. You cannot charge me for that. I didn't do that.
No, it's very good. Thanks very much for your service. Here's a tip of 0.8 notes from me. Not only is that gonna round this up to an even 8 notes, but it's also to keep your mouth shut that you didn't see us today.
I did not see anyone.
In
One at all.
If you want to make more money, if you could give us something to jumpstart a 1-point ship, we would be greatly appreciated.
Oh, you have a ship? I would love to tinker on a ship.
Well, I would need to ask G-Min, hey, you were in really bad shape. Can you speak? Did you suffer any brain damage? How many fingers am I holding up?
I see the one.
Perfect. Not sure you know what that means since you're enigmatic. G-Min, who came after you? They seem to have some heavy artillery.
Yes, he suffered much damage.
We were suffering a power drain, so I locked down the ship and went to investigate when I was swarmed by the planet's native inhabitants.
You were attacked by Ioti? No. Ioti not do this damage. It very injustice to our people. No, never.
Yeah, G-Min, can you clarify that?
I will describe the creatures that attacked me, and I think you'll find that they are more than likely the planet's native inhabitants.
Well, the Ioti might also be native, but okay.
Well, the planet has many native inhabitants.
Right, and
yes.
Lava worm.
Those very dangerous. Very dangerous. Be careful. They love power.
Right. Once again, like all this jives with my internal monologue of course we landed in an abandoned area. No one hangs out here because of the lava worm.
Lava worm, love any sort of energy signatures. Love it from your body. They love the molten ship engines. Very dangerous. Be careful. If that is what did this to you, ooh, dangerous. Could have gutted your entire core.
I think they did gut our entire core.
It was good to go home again, at least for a short time.
Well, if they haven't gutted the ship by now, they'll probably have wound up gutting the ship. I mean, if they hadn't gutted the ship when we found it, they must have gutted it by now because we left it alone. Also, we would, in order to fix it, we would have to buy a bunch of parts, take it out to where the ship is, and then have professionals work in the middle of a lava worm garden. Which is going to cost extra. Well, this just gets better and better. Why don't we go back to Ognar and tell him we're ready to go on the mission? There's been a change of plans. We're going to have to take his vehicle all the way there.
All right.
Why don't we just tell Ognar that it's not safe for us to go back to the vehicle? That's only that's only a little lie. Because you guys all know deceit, right?
No.
Sadly, no.
I'm literally half of a creature that cannot lie.
I know. You can't lie at all.
I do plan on picking it up because it is...
Hey.
Having deceit would probably be a useful thing at this moment.
Live, die, repeat.
They've died.
Look, when I die, I just go home again. I don't know what happens to you lesser creatures.
We also go home again.
So
Good
you
times.
all would like to travel back to Ognar?
Well, now that I'm sure our driver's not dead and been repaired, unfortunately, our driver's broke now.
I'm broke because you took all my money.
Well, we had to get you fixed.
Potato, potato.
Yeah, because there's the cyber auto repair system, which I think would be really good for you. Did you see that?
Did I see the thing in the game that I helped you playtest for months on end? No, escaped me.
I'm just asking politely.
I am very familiar.
Yeah, that's a good one to have.
Just because I don't place a premium on my own life doesn't mean that I don't see these things.
Yeah, So, it's just a day. Let's go back to Ognar and tell him we found our driver, but we'll just say it wasn't safe to go back to our ship. A perfectly truthful thing to say.
All right. So you go back to Ognar, and delightful. It's great to see you. I've managed to scrounge up a little something that I think might be the most useful. Have you seen our crawlers, the long-limbered things we use to step over the lava flows? It might be a little slow, but it will get you there, and I think it'll navigate these the Caldera probably the most the best. Only thing is I'd be a little careful with it. It's well, I can't say it's the best vehicle I've ever seen, but it was easy to boost. So, well, take that as it is.
All right. Well, I think we're gonna have to take that vehicle all the way there and back because it's not safe for us to go to the ship.
Didn't you take the ship to my?
No, we didn't.
What do you mean?
Lava worms.
Where's
surrounded by lava worms?
Primarily, G-Man here is just going to blurt out that it's attacked by lava worms.
By the mission, cannot divide.
Apparently, it's in the middle of a lava worm garden.
What? You parked my ship in a lava worm garden?
Nobody warned us that there were such creatures on this planet.
Foreigners.
Wait. Didn't he give us the coordinates?
We could at least tell you where G-Man could describe where it is. He's a skilled navigator who can read mod coordinates.
Well, is the ship damaged? What do you mean it's not safe?
Well, it's been blasted repeatedly by lava worms, and apparently they've drained the core.
Did I not say that was my favorite vessel? The first ship I ever boosted.
I never heard that. I've literally never heard that.
You probably
now you just have to spend 1 XP to get a different favorite use for your vehicle skill.
No, but seriously, was it not you that gave us the coordinates to land there?
Who is this guy here? Huh?
I've
met you two, but
this is our driver. As you can see, he's gone native.
He parks in a lava field, but
I park in the designated coordinates. That's actually where I'm pissed from now.
They didn't give us any coordinates. We just found it. We just looked for a place to land.
No, you remember when we came down, we were given coordinates so that we could lay low.
They gave you an area.
Yeah, they gave us a loose area, and we found the worst place to park. They didn't think to tell us, by the way, don't park in the obviously most dangerous place.
Or maybe don't include the lava worm area in the designated area.
I know they didn't think they had to tell us.
They thought it was just common knowledge. Oh yeah, these are the lava worm fields. Don't park there. That's
not on us then. There. That's part of the insurance policy you took on the ship. Yeah,
Right.
you start.
I could see us arguing. It's like, you didn't tell us not to park in front of the hydrant. Like, you're not supposed to park in front of a hydrant. How would we know that?
It's your favorite ship. Why didn't you add navigational hazards to the navigation array?
I think he's exaggerating about his being his favorite ship.
Well, I don't know that. I can't detect that.
You're enigmatic.
Listen, son, man, we really should have asked that guy for like an off switch. So we just go
Collapse to the ground.
the big red one you see on those old
I redirect and counter the off switch.
Ah!
It turns you off.
How did this even happen?
Well, that's unfortunate.
How much of a drive could it be?
Well, it'll take some more time to get there, but this does change our deal, my deal with Ronnie a little bit. So don't go anywhere, but let me know when you get these researchers all lined up for me, and we can sort out this ship later. This.
Wait, which?
That's really between you and our boss, because he really shouldn't be giving your ship to mercenaries. All we do is get in trouble and blow stuff up. I'm gonna be honest with you.
That's why we're so
hopefully-
good.
Hopefully you blow the right things up. I've got a vehicle for you, and so he'll take you out into the factory, and he takes you to kind of like a loose area where it looks like there's a bunch of conveyor belts, and where a lot of machines used to be, but it's kind of been cleared out, and you can see there's one of those large crawlers there. It is I would call it a junker vehicle.
Okay.
So it has a breakdown die.
Yeah,
and that's why I would say that is. And the breakdown die isn't necessarily because it's a piece of shit, but it is kind of hobbled together and has had poor maintenance over its lifetime.
Yeah, it looks like it would need it to. A lot of the vehicles that are machines that you find in the Myriad are easy to fix because they're always broken. So, man, we've been in worse. What's it powered by? Is it fission or is it something else?
Yeah, it's probably by fission.
Yeah, most things are. So
it's either fission or it's some like weird geothermal recharging energy, because there's so much heat that it could. But
you're assuming that the power source is the breakdown part?
With geothermal, we'd have to plug it back in or put in some descender or something like that. It's almost definitely fission. In fact, I'm guessing this planet's major export is fissionables.
So it's not duodetic?
A duodec is a fissionable.
Oh, okay.
I'm just saying that I would have guessed the breakdown would have been the legs.
Yep.
Yeah. The breakdown would probably be the legs. That's probably the
legs are complicated, stabilized, but it looks like it's drivable. I guess. I already said I have my big score, so I can retire in 6 weeks when I die on a volcano world.
Actually, you said 6 days.
I will say, though, that it is a size 2 junker, so it can hold up to 8 passengers instead of 3.
Yeah, right. So it's in the 10-meter size class. So size +1 is the 3-meter class. Size 10 is the 10-meter class. So
very
good.
Yeah, and it's large enough that the reason why it's size 2 is because usually these things are made to haul around different cargoes between different factories, and so there's a lot of cargo space, but it's easily just like there's seats that just can be set up inside the back.
And it's designed to go into out of the way places too. So because it's like a scavenge vehicle. So I'm guessing it's geared so it's a high power, low speed engine.
Exactly. Yeah.
So, in fact, I would guess that with the legs, like I was talking about the siege tank, does it have like a hook or a crane on it?
It probably does have a small like a small pulley system in order to pick things up.
Okay, so it's not a proper junker. Once again, he wouldn't. after we blew up his last vehicle with lava worms.
You look over and there's like a pristine hovercraft vehicle, and he's like, I was going to give you that, but after the lava worms.
After the lava worms, I don't blame nope, I don't blame anybody.
Well, that's good to know.
I guess how long do we think it's going to take us to get there by driving?
It'll probably take you several hours at a minimum. Probably.
Okay. So I guess
probably 4 or 5 hours to reach the edge of the edge of the Caldera, and then you'd climb up and over and to the other side.
Occurs to me we're probably not getting that 12-hour bonus.
Maybe not.
Should have gone with the pilot the ship and blow it up. Like I mentioned first.
Probably not after all this. All right, well, it's time to get driving, and that's your job, G-Men.
Right, so I guess it has to be a check because it's a breakdown die, right?
I believe so, yes.
What applies?
I think it'll be this. I'm looking at the vehicle stuff, and it describes. I mean, it's got cruise and max.
Well, I mean, those like navigation apply.
No, we'll just say it's just transport. Your mind, transport, and the breakdown dice, which is a D8.
Okay, Navarro's probably standing up in the back with their railgun like a turret.
Yeah, I imagine you're in the back like the halfway point of Starship Troopers, alright? Fleet does the flying, Oval Infantry does the death.
Yep.
Do I need to declare a favor use, or am I good?
You're good. I mean, the main thing we're rolling for is to make sure you don't have a breakdown. So you guys managed to drive through much of the city. A lot of the city is really just various different factories and different just fields of scrap and more of these slums that you're going through. It's not a pretty sight. Most of the area you're going through doesn't have anything like there are some upper class sections, but you either avoid them or don't even see any near you. And before long, well, not before long, but after a decent amount of time of just trudging along, you guys reach kind of the edge of where they've got these lava fields and scrap yards, and ahead of you, you still see more lava fields, but there's no scrap yards, there's no factories, and through that, you can then see the Caldera from this side rising up. From this side, it's mainly just a steep slope, but at some point there's going to be a drop down. So you guys start clambering. It's rather dull, to be completely honest. The trek. I mean, there's not much to see out there. So you eventually you wind through like low cliffs and boulder fields, and for hours nothing really seems to change much. And then you come across
is to avoid the time rain. Nobody?
I didn't hear what the last words were.
I said the important thing is to avoid the time rain.
The time rain. What is that from?
Death Stranding joke.
Oh, see, I didn't play Death Stranding. I understand what the time rain is.
It's a good thing.
Character gets aged, but
hey,
never heard of it.
Baby to keep them safe. We got an entire giant head in a jar to keep us safe.
That's true. Wait, is that new video game that came out where there's the guy runs around with a baby on his chest?
And there's vehicles in it that you drive over cliffs with.
Yeah, the new Hideo Kojima game.
It's the new Kojima game. You go over cliffs for hours.
It's because the more people that play it, the more the routes get developed and everything. It's very meta and cool, but the original players didn't really think so because they were the first ones.
It's a lot of carrying stuff over cliffs, which if you're into that, it's a very fun game.
Is it an MMORPG or is it
No.
What's it?
No, you're playing a single player RPG that's being affected by the events of other people playing the game. So like as they carry things over cliffs, the routes that they take get more and more developed till they turn into roads and everything like that.
Right.
So in the beginning you're driving over cliffs, but then eventually that
No, the very first people that played the game were driving over cliffs. Now there's roads there because they pathbound and all that shit.
So now if you get the game, it's instead of looking up walkthroughs, it's moving on. It was a quick joke.
I can tell.
But yeah, so I guess we're gonna drive there. I hesitate to ask this, but since we're down a couple people, especially Griffin, should we wait until Griffin is back before we actually start infiltrating the base? Because otherwise we're down a guy. Unless this is going to take like 30 minutes to do.
No, probably not. I was going to get to the top of the Caldera, describe what you see, and then that's where I was going to start.
Okay, well, let's cautiously. The only thing I'd be worried about is getting within sight line. I think we should park the vehicle first before we go over this rill, and then get out and look personally.
What? And expose yourself to the tornadoes spitting out shale of city?
Well, first question is, how's the weather?
Well, so here's the first question. So if this is the Caldera, right? Did I switch you over? Yep. So here's just an aerial. Here's the rim of the Caldera. We'll say that the research facility is this red square here. How did you want to approach it in the first place? Did you want to approach? That's what I'm asking you. Which direction would you want to come from?
Well, are we coming? When we started our journey, was the location north, south, east, or west of us?
It doesn't make a difference to me. I just roll randomly, honestly.
Well,
if it doesn't make a difference, then I think we want to be as close as possible.
Well, it's probably the place where most of their defenses are, because you remember that the landing pad for their shuttle is somewhere over here, and then there's like an entrance right here. Wow, that was the wrong color.
Well, this is what I meant by here's the rill. Here's the defensive perimeter. I would want to be coming over I would want to climb a mountain that was here, or a ridge that was here. And before we cross the very last ridge before we cross the very last ridge, we could park the vehicle, get out on foot, and get the binoculars out to examine what this ridge looks like. That would be my vote. Does that make sense?
I mean, it makes sense, but again, I think we can just determine on the face of it that the majority of their defenses are going to be facing that way. That it might make more sense to come at it from a different direction. I can see that you have strong feelings.
Okay, tell it. You're the driver. You tell us where we are.
No, I'm thinking this is a discussion we would have on the long trip here, because this is a long-ass trip.
They're going to have defenses from any direction. Coming through here just puts us in open space.
Right, but their ship, like I said, or as was previously described, is right here, which means that the ridge would have to be more defended, because if they're going to escape to their ship, if anything comes to happen, their entrance, the only known outside of the base position, is right here. It seems to me that is the most logical position to be most defended.
But remember, the Caldera is also 5 kilometers down.
Right, and if they have anti-air, then we'll just be shot by anti-air targeting ground people.
Right, but if we come over this ridge and start driving across all of this open space, we're in the open space. We could be seen and attacked.
Equally valid.
Right, so that's why I'm suggesting that since both of them are equally valid, we might as well look at the shorter approach first, because this is definitely longer.
Or unless we come around like in a different direction, hit it sideways.
Sideways might be.
You want to come in from here, then?
Yeah, hit it from the side. Like I said, if I was building it, my own thinking, if I was building it and I needed an escape plan, my escape plan would cover having extra defenses to allow me time to reach my escape vessel. So I'm thinking if that's where the platform is, don't go there.
So, as soon as we get to the last ridge before getting to this one, I would want to stop and do a visual recon just to see what's there.
Okay.
I mean, who knows? There might be nothing there.
So you guys are going to stop a distance away before that final like ridge to the bowl, and you're going to stop, get out, scope out that ridge.
Right.
And then you're going to go up the ridge. All right. So you guys stop.
Before we drive over the ridge, it's not so much, it's not just the defenses I want to see, but also what their sensors are. Because if we cross the ridge and they spot us immediately and send a missile to blow the crap out of us, we're stranded in the middle of nowhere with our lost vehicle, and I don't want to do that. Is that cool with everyone?
Yep. How far away? Well, it's cool with me. I don't care.
Well, you tell us because it's the map. How far away is the last ridge?
The last ridge, the last one is probably, well, there's not much of a ridge. It's just one massive caldera, so it's just a slope up.
Well, but there's stuff around this, right?
Yeah.
I think the point there being that if it was a giant slope up, we wouldn't have anywhere to get out and look at down into the caldera from.
Yeah, is a caldera surrounded by 10,000 kilometers every side of nothing?
So the best thing to look at would be the Pavinus caldera on Mars. That's the one I based it on.
Right, because it could be surrounded. If it's a caldera surrounded by nothing. Okay, so how did you spell this?
The Pavonis Mons.
Pavonis caldera.
Caldera on Mars.
Mars,
because it might not even be possible to get that close.
Here is, I'll drop it in the Discord chat. There's one from directly above.
Yeah, that's what I was asking.
Yeah,
so
it's surrounded by pretty much just.
There is a little bit there on the lower left side.
Yeah,
that's the same caldera.
There's some boulder fields. There's some kind of.
Sorry,
there's a little bit.
Yeah, I was assuming mountainous terrain because you said it was volcanic, mountainous terrain, and this is just an unusually, and this was a caldera. The inside of this was flat and smooth, but it was surrounded by mountainous terrain on the outside. You're saying no, this is a smooth area, and
this is a huge caldera. Yeah, right. There's just this is the caldera.
I would suggest that once we get within, assuming the horizon is 10,000 kilometers. I would assume that once we get, near 10,000 kilometers, we should stop, and then I'm going to have to hoof it for a couple kilometers until I actually see it.
That or we come around from a different direction where we have the line of sight from the horizon to then get on top of the vehicle so you can look at it from your binoculars from there while still being well out of range. The elevation giving you extra horizon visibility.
Right, and I assume this takes us a couple tries. Like when we get close, it's like, okay, I'll get out, get up there on my binoculars, say, no, I don't see any crap, get back in, we'll drive a little while. That's why I was asking what the weather is like.
The weather is
delightful.
The weather's good enough to do what you're asking to do. There might be some. There's probably almost always present smog and clouds in the sky, but there's no ash storms or tornadoes at the moment.
Okay, but we probably see a crap ton of dust devils. Is probably what we see.
Yeah, a lot of dust devils on the horizon, or even around you.
I've got survival gear. I've got proof against that. So we, once again, I'm driving for a while, and eventually I might be able to see it. I'm assuming the vehicle that we're in, because it's a junker vehicle, does not have sophisticated range finding gear.
It does not.
Okay. Does it even have a GPS, or we're relying on G-Mints?
It does not have a GPS either.
Neferu, what's the maximum range of your railgun?
1 kilometer.
1 kilometer.
Awesome.
Okay. So we'd have to, so not horizon. Okay. Also, I am a crappy lookout, so I might not even see anything. As my mind and observation is pretty pathetic.
All right. Yeah, let's see some observations from someone.
Fortunately, I have an outfit that gives a survey bonus.
That is going to give you that will help.
All right.
So
I'm guessing that would mean we would get within sight line of it way before I spotted it, and so they would actually, if they have anything to detect us out to here, they would detect us first, because that's a crappy roll.
Yeah. So you're scouting, you're looking around, you guys are being careful. You're creeping up forward. You're scouting. Maybe you're moving a little. You're moving parallel to it sometimes to get different views or move around some particularly large boulder fields. And you're scanning what would be the rim of the caldera, and so far you haven't seen any sort of like radar or telemetry. No hidden bunkers. You haven't seen like tanks or troops. No signs. No anything like that.
Yeah, are you sure this is even the right place?
Oh, this is the wrong caldera. It was left back at Albuquerque.
Well, where'd you get that picture from?
Well,
Isn't that from the movie where he's the "Oh Captain, My Captain"?
The Tom Hanks piracy.
That's not
movie.
from "Oh Captain, My Captain." I can assure you that.
Yeah, no, that's the Tom Hanks piracy movie where it looks at.
Or no, not the "Oh Captain," or no, the "I'm the Captain Now." That movie.
I'm a terrible lookout. We keep driving to get closer. Let me know what happens.
Yeah. So you guys get all the way up to. If you wanted to approach right here, correct?
Yeah, sideways.
I'm gonna plop.
I mean, arguably,
last token I'd copy and pasted. So.
Say arguably, we should probably come from the direct bottom and up if we're looking for the longest range while not being over the lip of the caldera. But I think defense is probably better if nobody has any other strong opinions.
All right, you can move that token. So where you're the driver, where do you want to approach from?
Well, we're already at the lip. I don't know why we go any further.
Ah! So you've driven up to the lip and you look down, and before you is the massive caldera, and very small. Pulling up your binoculars, you see the research facility right there. It's located about a quarter of the way. Well, not quite a quarter of the way, but would that be like a sixth of the way around the rim from where you are?
You said it's 5 kilometers down, right?
Yeah.
Right. So even if he wanted to, Arcloid's character Nefiru couldn't even take a shot at it from the top of the caldera.
It's even past max range.
Well, no, I just mean that it's 5 kilometers straight down. So standing at the top of the caldera, you couldn't even shoot it from here. It's 5 times the distance of a railgun.
Wow.
And at this distance, your accurate information, the information that you had that Ognar gave you seems about accurate. You can see the dome where the entrance to the habitat is, and you see the landing pad nearby with the still a transport vehicle parked on it. If you look really close, you can still spot the several domes that mark the aerial defenses. Although from here, you know where they are because you saw the aerial photography, but looking through it, it's like you know where they should be, but they're really hard to see from this distance.
So I'm guessing that if they have access to a geothermal tap, that their air defenses would be ray guns, because that requires a lot of energy, but no ammunition. But I also failed my observation roll, so can I even tell what their defenses are?
You can't. You can't tell. You can see those domes that you saw before, and you see where they are, and you're pretty sure. You're like, oh, that could be a pile of rocks, but pretty sure there was a dome somewhere in that area.
Yeah, they could also have slug thrower. They could basically have howitzers that they would use because they want to take advantage of the curvature of the earth. They could have missiles. They could have anything. I'm not
anything.
Yeah, I'm used to asymmetric warfare, guys. I'm not used to military warfare. I'm paramilitary.
So this is the point that we're going to wait for. We can stop and wait for Griffin to come back, and then we can have more support on that end. Let's do the debrief. Oh, we forgot to do the very beginning brief. Oh,
the very beginning brief. We started a little late, so I didn't push it. But yes, hello. I am Ezreal, the cocky human mercenary from a paramilitary background. My motto is never kill for free.
And
Jamin, Underworld Pharaoh's conductor, personality is automatic. I've said it 1,000 times this episode. Motto is can't you hear the music?
And Arcloid?
I'm playing Neferu Benfrey, the patient Druidon mercenary, and her motto is one shot, one kill.
Awesome. Well, now the debrief.
I always like it when alien details inform the world. Like I like the fact that we parked in the middle of a lava worm field and it was extremely dangerous. All of that makes sense to me. I like the mystery that's unfolding here, because now I'm gonna be honest with you guys. Now I'm really scared because the last area had lava worms. The scientists here don't want this area exploited. This could have some sort of rare indigenous life in it that could be. It probably isn't, but it could be more dangerous than lava worms. So I like the known unknowns nature of the game.
I do agree. It's pretty interesting so far.
Has anyone completed a goal in today's session? I
don't
think you guys
completed
completed all of your personal goals, correct?
I haven't. But we did. Wasn't that Ronnie the Blue that we met? You not rendezvous with Ronnie the Blue?
That's at Sargosa.
Oh, okay. Sorry, I thought sometimes I swear there's multiple blue people around here.
Yeah, I don't think we got either of our goals met, which was to deliver the ship, since we didn't, and to get dirt on, was it Lazaro?
Yeah, Lazaro.
Yeah.
And then now I guess you should have a third. There is a third goal here, which is this job that he sent you on. Still getting used to the whole idea of giving goals.
At this point, I'd have to get rid of a goal to take a goal.
Well, the 3-goal limit, I mean, like, speaking of things we wiggle past, the 3-goal limit was what we call the Borderlands rule, where I don't know if you guys ever played Borderlands, but the thing stayed on your list, like any goal you ever accepted, stayed on your list forever. There was no way to delete it or drop it. The 3-goal limit's supposed to be there to keep you from filling up your list too much. What goal would you actually have to drop?
Well, I still have my starter goal, because that hasn't been accomplished yet, and I still have the 2 goals that we all have. Obtain a starship.
Wow, that's a highfalutin goal.
Well, I mean, if we can somehow escape all this mess, repower that ship that's out there, and just not return it.
Well, I'm just suggesting the 3-goal limit was put there because otherwise players would ask us why our goal list is 18 items long. Some of them are supposed to expire.
Well, I mean, obviously I don't want to give up my starter goal. It was there from the start. Also,
well, we always advise people that the starter goal is supposed to be something really simple, but people keep shooting for the stars. God bless them.
Well, it's not like I said, hey, obtain a 40-man warship or anything. I said a starship. All it has to do is go to space, and it fits the description. It just so happens... Sorry,
like, get a house.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
the other goal I was going to give you was take care of the planetary scientists.
Right.
That was the goal.
I mean, the purpose behind that is so we write them down, and that way when we come to the game next week, it's like, hey guys, what were we doing? I don't know. Look at our list of what we were doing on our character sheets. And that way we can remember. Like, what if we stop playing the game for a month? It's also a way for the game master to communicate clearly to the players, this is what I expect you to do.
Yeah.
Sometimes people, especially, run into... People keep asking, like, hey, I keep trying to run D&D, but the players keep trying to start a bar. And it's like, well, did you tell them what they're supposed to do? So, well, I threw an adventure at them. I thought they would just know what that was.
I mean, if we started on a cavalcade, I could have tried to take a ship at the beginning. I didn't want to be disruptive because we had a new player, and I was really trying to focus on a new player learning the game. Then we get here, and we've got a very specific goal of return the ship, so it's like, okay, I'm not going to steal this one and derail everything.
It's only a shuttle. It's a starship.
Right, but I just
mean... give you a goal that said return the ship, though.
Yeah.
Right, but I mean, at the same time, I have 2 other people that are trying to do things correctly, and I didn't want to waste time on a solo mission, even though I did.
Well, but you also have Starship. This is a shuttle. It doesn't count.
Right, well, you know what I mean. A starship, it goes to the stars. This ship has seen multiple stars.
So by starship, did you mean interstellar or just spacecraft?
I mean, I would prefer interstellar, but I would settle for a spacecraft.
That's like settling for a big score being old.
No. A spacecraft is infinitely more expensive than 6 notes.
Moving on.
The score of your mercenary life was a 6-day paycheck. You didn't even go for the 2-week paycheck that a lot of retail goes with.
Man,
So,
if I sold back my starting gift, I could start my second career, or start on the path to my second career, because I need a second career.
So,
Merchant.
you guys each get an experience for participating in today's session. Did you live up to the true spirit of your character?
I think I did.
I did. Can you hear the music refers to the sound of the Mog Towers, and I constantly tapped navigation.
And you faced the music by almost dying.
That's true. You face the music in death.
I just returned to the 4th dimension for a little bit and came back.
I'd like to think that when he was in the suspended animation, it just plays elevator music at him for like an hour.
For an hour, it's just do 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 do.
Please stand by.
I mean, you're mocking it, but I really enjoy elevator music.
Please stand by. Your life is important to us.
That's why he's so enigmatic, is because he's always got just elevator music running through his head.
Chilling to elevator music.
All right. Well, I
go
had
ahead.
fun with all that happened today. The dice always manages to surprise
yeah, of course,
me.
you threw more veterans at us. Veteran lava worms.
They were They were based off of the floating balls of fire in the core rulebook.
Well, once again, we did land in a nasty place, and also you didn't. Well,
I'm not complaining. I'm just saying that the moment he said, "Okay," and he gets a bonus D12 because he's aiming, I was like, "Well, shit, veterans."
Yep. Hey, you actually held out pretty good, but
well, yeah.
What's supposed to happen is you're supposed to tap your combat save and then run away.
But I don't care about combat save.
I know, but you don't do that. So
you do that.
Once again, never feel bad about killing Theta. He literally wants to die.
Eli has never felt bad about killing me. He's done it multiple times.
I've never felt bad about killing anyone.
I'm thinking probably the best career path is I think I'm going to go ahead and eventually get team player as a gift, because that's an awesome gift.
What does the team player gift do?
That changes my assist bonus from a D8 to a D12.
Okay. But what career has that?
Well, the career I'm looking at is then the next one would be Scavenger, because Scavenger is needs danger. In order to buy a new career, you have to have the gifts it already has. Yeah. Scavenger is team player and danger sense, and I already have danger sense because I'm a mercenary. So getting team player would be a good gift to help the party, and then Scavenger would give me the craft and observation that I'm missing.
What's the third skill?
Academics.
Yeah, then you just need to build it up so it's more than a D4.
Which makes a lot of sense. Mercenary and, there's some overlap between mercenary and scavenger. So
yeah, it depends on what planet you're on.
That's also very true.
Right. So that's why I'm thinking that would be the next bet. In fact, I'm even looking at my build here, and I don't know, man. I could sell back some of the mercenary and buy up more of the other one. It's something to think about. I'm going to think about it.
I'm literally looking at, I think, 4 more buys of improved trait. And that's it so far.
Because the only thing that improves redirecting counter is your trade, isn't it?
Yeah, I have a legacy that has Psyche, and I have a career with Psyche. So I'm just going to be the best at what I am.
That's a good way to do it.
Yeah, and I think I forgot how much fun crafting is in this game, so I really should be putting points into it.
Yeah, no, I love crafting from back in Jade Claw when I ran a merchant.
Yep. Well, and this sample character is designed to be maxed out for killing, so I could trade back some of the improved careers in Mercenary and start buying extra career Scavenger and buying those up. But it's something to think about.
Yeah. Anyways, is there I guess we're all here next Wednesday, correct? There's nothing on
Hopefully,
the schedule?
hopefully I won't have to build a chair next week.
The one thing is Isadora Lunella, the person that couldn't play, can't play because she has to teach, and she has to teach during our session, and so me and her might have to work something out.
Move to a different room.
Yeah,
set up the Wi-Fi. Put your computer in a different room. Put pillows over your own face. We're on it.
Well, if we have to reschedule, I think there's some holes in the schedule currently. So
only earlier in the day, yeah. Well, I don't know. Lessons, the guy who runs the Ironclaw game, is going to be joining the Hackmaster game. Has been vying for. He's apparently writing his own game, and I think he wants to try and test it out during that time slot.
Okay. Well, we'll see what develops then.
Yep, I'll let you know what we end up working out on our end as well. But I'm just making sure everyone is in the loop.
Okay. So. No, I'm enjoying it so far. Thanks for having me.
Indeed.
Thanks for playing. It's I'm starting to get the wheels under me, but. I'm
liking it. I like these kinds of science fiction challenges. Like once again, like I was talking about earlier, one of the things I like about not necessarily being like a setting based where people are often throwing like lore at me. I like the fact that we're like environmental based. Here we are on a volcano planet, something weird's going on, we need to figure it out. And it's still mysterious enough that we don't know what it is, but still science fiction-y enough that we can wrap our brains around it. So I'm enjoying all of this.
Good. All right.
Yeah, I'm having
you guys
fun.
All good. As long as everyone's having fun, that's what matters to me.
Oh, and just so you know, I have some XP to spend. I will be buying my shooting up to D10.
Shooting up to D10. All right. Perfect.
Do we really need more shooting?
Everything needs more shooting.
Well, I only have 2D8 in it so far, though I could buy up either questioning or negotiation at D8.
You could buy some craft.
What good would a D4 do right now?
You could assist somebody.
All right, I'll do that then. I'll get some craft, so I can start making my own bullets.
Remember, you can also take a favorite use on craft, so it can re-roll stuff.
Yeah.
I think we're good in the murder department at present.
I prefer not to murder. That's why I got redirect encounter. And I only throw things away.
You only throw murder.
I don't really have to raise my shooting skill up because I've got sniper shot.
Yeah, but I thought that was kind of funny where it's like, I've got redirect encounter. Well, finally, a creature that's immune to its own attack.
Well, that's why I was confused, because initially Eli had said it's got immunity to fire, and I'm like, then he started listing invulnerability, and it's like, you didn't say that before. Is he getting confused with immunity and invulnerability?
I think he said immunity to fire, but the technical terms of the rules is 2 points.
I know. He clarified it, but that's why I was confused at first, because I thought maybe he was giving them both, and they didn't have both.
No.
Yeah, we don't have immunity, and the immunity was removed from D&D around 3rd edition, where people kept asking questions about, well, wait a minute, so if a werewolf falls off a cliff, it's not hurt.
You might also remember I was here for the playtesting, and I remember when we had a lot more status-based damage effects, like electricity and all that stuff.
A lot of the it's still in there, because scorching and that kind of stuff is still in there, but it's worded in a different way.
Yeah, but I mean, there was a lot more, like 2 pages of tables.
Yeah, and that was just too much. It was just, we needed to simplify that. I think this game is still a little fiddly, but I think the elementals are at the correct level of complexity where being a science fiction game, I think it's important that some people are immune to certain stuff, like smothering attacks or airtight. That's another thing that almost always bothers me about like D&D, where if you play a Warforged, there's something special about being a Warforged. Maybe you get a Constitution bonus, but you can still be poisoned. You still breathe. There's all these things that still affect you.
Pretty sure they don't.
I think they don't breathe, but the rules don't say they actually have any immunity to it, and then you'll run into GMs who give you crap about you not being immune to it. It's just...
I think they're immune to smothering, but I think you're right that they can still be poisoned, because D&D works in the realm of there's arcane versions of poisoning that you can still be affected by, that sort of thing.
Right. I mean, it's like a lot of these things of like you know, like, okay, you're weird, but not too weird. And one of our goals with Myriad Song was, look, if you're a weirdo, like if you're a robot or an alien or something strange, that should give you actual like sweeping tangible bonuses in the game that manifests itself as stuff that makes it cool. And you know, so you know, we wanted that reflected, so we didn't want to, and that meant, you know, after as we were playtesting, it's like, look, you can't just walk up to a robot and hit him with a taser or you know, or you know, acid or whatever, and have it affect exactly the same way it would affect a human. That would feel lame. So we had to come up with some way to integrate all of that, and so we settled on the conditionals, the hashtags.
So here's a question. Can redirecting counter redirect to someone else aside from the person that shot them?
Nope, right back to the original source.
Just right back to the original. Okay.
Right. And in theory, you would probably, I mean, you guys probably could ping pong all day because that sounds exciting. We usually have a double jeopardy rule, which is that never attack the same thing twice. Because
but at that point, it would turn into a
only
comedy.
does damage, so you couldn't counter the redirecting counter.
Well, no, because their attack would be the initial.
You couldn't redirect a redirected counter because someone attacks you and you counterattack, and then we're done. We're doing one die roll. If you hit the person who originally attacked you, you hit the person who originally attacked you. A lot of this often goes on roll better. If the other guy rolled better than you, he gets to hurt you. If you don't want to be hurt, roll better.
Now, what if? Sorry, came into play now that I'm thinking about it. You attack somebody. They redirect and counter you. Ally has focus, breaks focus to rally you, and they give you focus. Can then you, in the middle of all this, break your own focus that they granted you to redirect and counter their counter of the redirect?
No.
Okay.
That was easy. Countering is a defense. Someone attacks, the other person counters, you resolve it between the two of them. Focus is an interrupt, which takes the turn away from whoever is currently taking the turn to someone else. And there's even limits on how much you can interrupt to interrupt. So
right, just something I never thought about before, and in the middle of this.
Yeah, that's even why we called it redirecting counter and put counter in the name, so people would know it's a defense.
Oh, Raph, I do have a rules question for you when we're done with this one.
Okay, we're done.
Is there? Yeah, it's about 6. Is there? Do you have another game after this?
No.
All right.
No, I think we just have lives.
All right. Well,
everyone, thanks for watching. Thanks for playing.
Well, real quick, while we have it on, Arcloid asked a question he's been trying to ask.
Yeah, ask.
Yes. Well, if you manage to give yourself 4 dice in initiative by having both a pet and danger sense, can you rote initiative to get focus?
The original purpose behind initiative was, okay, so this game is a you go, I go type game where one side goes and then one other side goes. So what would happen was the GM could just say, a bunch of guys show up and they shoot you. And the original purpose behind initiative was, okay, I'm getting shot at. I want to roll my initiative dice. And some player will inevitably chime in and say, wait, I told the GM I was constantly looking for people who were trying to murder us. So there's no way they could have snuck up on us because I said I was looking for them. The answer to that question was initiative. Usually you only roll initiative when you're the ambush party or when you're surprised. But I know some players eagerly want to start the fight with extra initiative dice. They want to start the game with focus because you get 3 actions your first turn and it's a boost. The rules don't say you can't do that, but if you were going to do that, no, you can't rote your initiative because you'd be taking. I mean, if you want to rote and get focus, and your GM is going to let you, it's. I usually don't let players rote unless it's something they've done before. We had the rule in the game that you could rote your initiative to get your weapons out because getting caught with your pants down in the first round of combat and you can't counter is extremely deadly. This all boils down to the big thing is we hate D&D. There, you heard us say it live. Because in D&D, you'd always get the problem where first there's the surprise round where all the NPCs attack you for free. And then there's the second time they all attack you for free because they all rolled higher on the initiative than you do, because the GM rolls one group initiative roll and rolled a 21, rolled a natural 20. In other words, we really, really didn't want that problem you see in D&D where the GM hammers on you for 2 rounds for free.
Right.
It's just really deadly. So the purpose behind that was, look, the GM can just say the people who actually attack you first, and then you roll your dice. I guess if the GM wanted to let you do that, but then of course you'd be rotating your initiative and starting every fight with focus, which I guess isn't that game breaking if you really wanted to spend points on a pet in danger sense. I guess it's a thing. I guess it's not that game breaking. In other words, you'd have to ask your GM. If I was your GM, I'd say no, but I'm not nice. So
well,
true.
I'd figure if I was a GM, I would also be, reluctant to say, yeah, go ahead and do that, because there is a benefit to getting 2 successes on initiative. So yeah,
it does kind of speed the game up, and there's not much else to do with a pet other than get the initiative bonus. So I don't know. On the other hand, I'm not nice. I'm getting a lot looser about this. I keep saying this is a game about doing a lot of weird and crazy crap. So I guess you should be rewarded for doing weird and crazy crap. And also, the only thing a nice pet does for you is give you an initiative bonus. So I suppose it's not that bad. And it's just, keep in mind, this stuff can just be stacked. There is the big thing that keeps Cardinal balanced, which is rolling better. If you can't beat the other guy, then it doesn't really matter. So, why are you planning on getting a pet so you can rote your initiative and start every fight with focus?
Well, that was something I was thinking about doing, but it also gives you an observation bonus, which is very useful.
Especially in this group, which we've noticed it has low observation.
Yep.
The only defense, Griff probably has all the observation too.
Yep. The only disadvantage is a pet can be murdered. So that is a disadvantage of a pet. But yeah, no, I mean, that's why I'm just trying to explain, that's why we keep rewriting the initiative rules to turn right a game, because it really was supposed to be players don't like being caught with their pants down and want to be ready for it. But on the other hand, we wanted people who started a fight. This came up like a lot during our playtest, like the ultimate social problem. Alpha decides they don't like Bravo. So Alpha says, I'm going to attack. The GM starts a fight, but Bravo wins the initiative. So somehow Bravo can kill Alpha before Alpha even gets an action, but Alpha started the fight, even though they didn't actually take their turn or do anything. And that's always never sat well with me, that you can get in a weird situation like that. It only gets weirder from there. I've had the reason why we say the person closest to the fight acts first is because I've been playing D&D games where the guy who's 80 feet back wins the initiative. So he immediately runs screaming into the room, pushing all the other players out of his way to jump on someone to backstab them.
Yeah, one thing I do like about Cardinal over D&D is, if you want, you can rote your initiative if you only have the mind and speed on it, and start with your weapon ready, because everybody wants to start with their weapons ready all the time.
This is, in fact, another thing that we have decided, does this really bother us or not? Everyone always has their weapons out. Anytime I've played a D&D game, everyone has their weapons out all the time. No one is ever caught with their pants down. And that's something we had to decide. Does this really bother us? Do we really care? Swapping weapons is still an action in Myriad Song, but we're one of the last holdouts. If you look at modern games, people swap weapons for free. It doesn't cost anything in modern games. So it's a question of what people find interesting. I personally find action economy interesting, but I know not everybody does. So thanks for coming to my TED Talk.
Yeah, I enjoyed it as well. That's kind of why I built the character I did, to get Trude on Scream and save on some action economy.
One of the coolest things I find to play in Myriad Song is the Brawler, because the Brawler's special ability is he gets a free attack action every round as long as it's just bare hands. And suddenly the game becomes very bizarre to you when it's I get 3 actions per turn as long as one of them is punching people. Suddenly That came up during playtesting because people in the playtesting kept asking, why don't you make brawling do more damage? And I was like, well, I don't want to do that. That just turns it into another gun or another sword. Brawling should feel like brawling. And so that suddenly, like, you don't have to get your weapons out. You're always ready to punch people, and you get an extra action to punch. Even though you're not doing nearly as much damage as the other players, you suddenly have all this flexibility to you. That you can guard, aim, and attack in the same turn, or move, aim, and attack in the same turn. To me, it felt liberating. I love it.
Yeah, remember that fight with Joser and all those guys with the cybernetic brains, where he had a gun, but he would have to ready, reload, do all that shit. He just decided to punch the shit out of everybody.
And you see that in movies all the time. Like, one of our goals is to simulate like movies or television or other stories that people like. And like, you watch a movie like Guardians of the Galaxy, and it's like you see them punching people. If they were gamers, they would just sit there stoically behind a wall and every now and then shoot. So you want to be. So
you want actual action. You want movie cinematics. You want heroics. You want those things to actually happen.
And the rules should work to endorse those cinematics rather than what you always see in the role-playing games is a design for conservative strategic play. They don't reward you or encourage you to be gonzo like that. I run into so many game masters who like yell at you saying, well, that's not realistic, or we don't want that. And it's like, okay. I mean, I would rather, you should reward players for being like that. So
yeah, I like it depending on like the theme of the game. If we're playing a very realistic, nitty-gritty game, then realistic and nitty-gritty, but then I want everything to be realistic and nitty-gritty. But then if we're playing an action or a heroic or something that's, I want that also. I want the game to represent the theme.
Right, and I would also like, does anyone play a realistic game? I really don't see anyone doing it.
Yeah, we try to play. We're always playing unrealistic games. That's the
Myriad song. I think is supposed to be a little like closer, but it's also like we don't apologize for like the dodging and that kind of stuff. I mean, we want like lethality to have real world consequences. We're not revolving door death, but I mean, like realistically, I'm talking like Tom Clancy, like Millennium's End.
Yeah, I don't think there's anything that detailed anymore.
I mean, even when because the Millennium's End team wrote D20, but when they wrote D20 Modern, all they could think of was like werewolves with guns or whatever, or supernatural type stuff. Like even then, it was like, let's have large sections of like kobolds with guns or whatever. I mean, I would love, and I unironically read Tom Clancy. Well, sorry, I ironically read Tom Clancy. Let me take that back. But I love techno thriller type stuff like that. But yeah, I don't see that much in stuff. That should be our next game. We should do that next.
Like a sci-fi techno thriller, not a sci-fi, but a modern techno thriller.
What's Lessons writing? Is Lessons writing that? Ask Lessons if they're writing that.
It's in the admin chat. You can see it.
Yeah, it's year 2980, so I think it's more.
There we go. Awesome. I'm down for that. All right. But thanks everybody for coming. I could talk everybody. Yeah. And by the way, your favorite game sucks. I'm an angry game designer.
All right, I've got another game I got to prepare for at 7, so gonna get some food myself.
Thanks for
good
running.
to see you all. See ya.